Hamilton's real estate market just saw the biggest inventory jump in over a decade. Now, what does this mean for home prices? And if you're thinking of buying or selling, should you act now or wait? My name is Steve Lopresti, I'm a real estate agent, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what's happening and where we're headed. So January kicked off with some big shifts in the market. Now, when we compare it to December of last year, sales rose very slightly to 369 total transactions, but that's still 17% lower than the 10-year average for January. However, we've had the amount of new listings on the market jump by 35%, pushing the total amount of new homes to 1,497, which is the highest we've seen for January since 2013. More inventory generally means that there's more choices out there for buyers who are looking to purchase something, and also that sellers will need to be a little bit more competitive when they're listing their house for sale. So we've seen the sales to new listings ratio dip to 40%, which means that the demand is not really keeping up with the amount of supply we're seeing out there in the marketplace. So translation, there's more homes on the market, which means they're taking longer to sell, which means there's more leverage for buyers. Now, if you're a seller and you're thinking that, oh no, all hope is lost, what am I gonna do? Just keep watching this video, there's more, trust me. So a question I get asked a lot is, are home prices dropping? And the answer is yes, but not dramatically. So between December and January, the average house price in Hamilton slipped from $772,000 to $757,000, which is about a 2% decrease from December 2024 to January 2025. Now, when it comes to individual property types, detached homes have seen a little bit of a dip, but the biggest impact was seen in the condo market, which has dropped 5.6% year over year. So if you're trying to get into the housing market and you've been struggling with affordability, it might be worthwhile to take a look at some condos just because they have seen that dip and there's probably a lot more opportunity for you there. It might not be where you want to end up long term, but it could be a nice short-term move for you to get your foot in the door, get into the housing market, build some equity, and then you can sell and then buy something a little bit nicer, a little bit better, a little bit bigger as time goes on. Now, if you're wondering whether this trend will continue, it's impossible to say for sure. I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. I mean, this is the closest I have. I'm not really sure what this is, but yeah. The next few months are going to be crucial. Typically, spring is when demand starts to pick up and the market starts to show more activity. So while Hamilton's overall market is seeing some price adjustments, certain areas are behaving a little bit differently. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at those. Dundas, Stony Creek, and Glanbrook have seen stronger sales activity than long-term trends, suggesting that the demand is still very strong in those areas. So Central Hamilton, West Hamilton, and Flamborough are experiencing higher months of supply, around 5+ months, which means that buyers have more room to negotiate in these markets. And the Hamilton Mountain is seeing pretty solid demand as always, with the lowest months of supply out of any region across Hamilton. So now you might be wondering, is this market better for buyers or sellers? So for 6 months in a row, we've seen about 4 months of supply on the market, which means that homes are taking longer to sell and that buyers have more options. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you're a buyer, this means that there's more options out there for you. You can be a little bit more selective and you're more likely to find the house that you love at a reasonable price. Now, that being said, it is good to be selective and there are more options for you, but you don't want to wait too long because who knows how long this is going to last, right? They just announced another interest rate decrease a few days ago as of the time of filming this, and who knows what's going to happen as we enter the spring market. Demand might start to creep back up, which means prices might go back up as well, and you don't want to wait for that to happen, especially if you've been struggling to get into the market over the last few years. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you want to think about the long-term value of that house. Instead of trying to time the market, look at what it's going to be worth in the next 5, 10, 15+ years, depending on how long you plan on living there. And as long as it fits your needs today and you can make the monthly payments and you can afford them, then it doesn't really matter what it's worth if it's going to go up in the long term anyways. Now, just as a quick side note, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're feeling a little overwhelmed with the process, I'm putting together a guide that might help you to kind of navigate a lot of the complexities with buying a home, especially if you've never done it before. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out to me. I have my contact info up on the screen there. Just send me an email saying first-time buyer and I'll send you that over as soon as I can. So if you're a seller, like I promised, all hope is not lost. There's still a couple things you can do in this market to make sure that you sell quickly and get the most money that you possibly can. So you want to make sure that you're pricing the home strategically. The days of overpricing it and still getting multiple offers are behind us. Homes that show well and are priced right are still moving quickly, same as always. You're also going to want to work with a real estate agent who knows how to get the job done. So if you're interested in hearing about how we're selling houses quicker and for more money, send me an email and I'll show you how. So I think the spring market is going to be a key indicator of where we're headed. If demand starts to pick up, we might see prices stabilize a little bit more, but if demand continues to drop off, then prices may continue to decline as well. Now, because of these shifts in the market, smart buyers and sellers are already making their moves. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, message me today and we'll set up a strategy for how we can make sure that your real estate goals for 2025 are successful. All right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.